It's your boy Carlito Sway, and you are checking in with Scum Radio.
Who we got in the spot tonight?
The one and only Carlito Sway, producer slash artist, engineer, musician, all the above, man.
How did you get your name?
I actually got my name from Thrax. He used to say, "What's up, Carlito Sway?" And I don't know the meaning behind it, but it kind of stuck and it sounded interesting, so I just kind of adopted it. I got tired of Verb, but Verb ain't went away either. Everybody could still call me that too.
Where you from?
From Montgomery, Alabama, born in Anniston, but I'm from here,
What
born and
side?
raised. From the South Side, Woodley Park slash Regency Park area, not in those neighborhoods, but around it. Yeah.
Tell everybody what you do.
Um, so I do a little bit of everything in the music realm. Primarily, as of now, I'm a musician. So you can catch me gigging with a whole bunch of different bands. I'm always on stage somewhere. I also have two churches under my belt, and it makes me pretty good money and keeps my musical skills sharp. I also produce, make beats for quite a few artists around the city and regionally, if we're being honest. I also record on occasion when somebody needs it, and I'm an artist when I feel the inspiration to drop. So yeah, I'm all the above.
How did you get into making beats?
How did I get into making beats? When I was 14 years old, I discovered. Well, I wouldn't even say 14, a little bit before that, but I was already a music head. My granddad up in Jersey, he had a book on the history of Motown Records, and I was reading it one day out of boredom when I stayed with him over the summertime, and it made me do research on all these classic artists like Marvin Gaye, Temptations, Four Tops, all them. I already had a musically inclined ear and a little bit of piano playing skill. So around 14 to 15, I got FL Studio for the first time, and it was hard. I couldn't even make it outside of the pattern thing. You know what I'm saying? You got pattern, and you got song mode. I couldn't even make it outside of pattern mode. But yeah, that really got me into making beats, and it took a while, but I eventually started getting good at it.
You play any instruments?
Yeah, piano primarily. I started with the drums, ironically. That was my first love, but piano just gave me more money, so I just went over there where that was, and I never looked back. Yeah.
What type of beats would you say you make?
Well, I make a lot of different beats, to be honest. I'm more of a universal artist. I've made blues beats. That's actually my most successful genre of beats. I've been on the trap side of things. I've been on the R&B side of things. I've even made one or two country beats. You know what I'm saying? But if you ask me what my heart really is, I would say hip hop. When I say hip hop, I'm like boom bap with a little bit of soulful feel, and sometimes R&B too. R&B and hip hop are my two main favorite ones.
You said you make a lot of blues beats. You made some of that stuff that you was behind some of those songs that King South had, right?
That is correct. That's correct. Glad you brought it up. Yeah, King South, free him. When he started doing blues initially, I was the first producer that he was working with, and it's funny because it started out as a joke. One day I was bored. We was at the Yellow House chilling, and I'm like, "Shoot, I'm tired of making these same old beats. I'm gonna make me a country beat." I called it a country beat. I didn't even know what Southern Soul was because I ain't really listened to it like that. But I knew what it was though. I've been to cookouts before, so I made this little country beat, and it ended up being his first Southern Soul song. And after that, we figured out, hey, we got something. So let's keep it running, and that's what we did, and it turned out to be very successful. Yep.
What are some of those songs that you produce?
I would say, you may know as Southern Soul Cowboy, him featuring Jeter Jones. You got I Promise. You got I Found the Letter. You got Only to You. You know what I'm saying? He did a few covers as well, like for Bobby Brown. Long as you are here with me. What's the name? Rock Witcher? Yeah, Rock Witcher. Yeah, that's one of them. It's quite a few. Basically, 90% of his blues catalog I produced. Now later on down the line, he did work with the Union Music Group as well. But I would say a big bulk of the initial success was under my production. Yes.
What's one piece of advice you'll go back and give your younger self, and what age would you go back to?
Um, oh man, this is a good one. If I were to go back to my younger self, I would go back to the age of around, I would say 15 or 16. And I would tell my younger self to focus on your craft and what you have a passion for. I will also tell my younger self, use protection at all times. Okay. And don't let the hoes distract you. Okay. Focus on the bag. And don't do anything that's major and life changing until you really are established in life. And always be you. Never let anybody make you feel like you're less than or too different. Like be yourself authentically, because at the end of the day, that's who you take it with you when you leave this earth. So yeah, I would say that.
Who believed in Verb before anybody else?
Before anybody believed in Verb, I would say, I would say, I guess I would say me. Yeah, I really believed in me. Ironically, I had the most passion for music when my skill level was at the lowest. Like when I actually sucked at making beats and rapping, I wanted to be a rapper and beat maker so bad. And the longer I did it, the better I got. But I've done it so long now, is that like the passion is not nearly as much as it was at the time. It's coming back now, but I would say my passion peaked definitely when I first started doing it, and that's what sparked me to get better at it. It sparked my creativity. It made me keep going.
What kind of motivation could you give somebody who having issues with their baby mom?
I would say the kingdom falls when the king dies. But long as you are a king in your own right and you know that, nothing can break you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got some baby mama drama going on and whatnot, just know you are a boss ass nigga. Okay? And don't let that shit break you. You know what I'm saying? And also, long as you take care of yours, take care of your kid, and do everything right, handle business correctly, you really ain't got nothing to worry about. She can't hold nothing against you, man. That's all I can say.
If you never made another dollar of music, would you keep making it?
Yeah, music adds a novelty to life that you can't find anywhere else. I envision a life without music would be very boring. Because a lot of people, regular people, they go to school, they get their careers, and they work these 9 to 5s until they turn 80, and that's pretty much it. There's really nothing interesting there. Like music is like something new every day. You're able to create. You're an artist. You're making art. Like there's nothing better than doing that. You know what I'm saying? So if I didn't make another dollar, I would still do it. It just keeps me sane, keeps me alive, keeps me going.
What song did you make that made you feel like you were different?
What song that I made that made me feel like I was different? That's a good one, man. Because some of this stuff is not even released yet. But if we're going with what is released, I would say when I did Southern Soul Cowboy, I thought that I have something that a lot of these producers don't. Nothing against them, but I'll just say we live in the era where a lot of producers click stuff or they use loops all the time, but that right there was purely from the heart and from these fingers. And you can't just think of that out of nowhere. You take some divine connection. Something came to me when I did that, and it made some noise, man. It was a hybrid beat too. It wasn't just regular Southern soul. You had some G funk elements in there, had some 808s in there. Like it was a very dynamic beat, and that beat summarizes where I was creatively at the time. I was willing to blend shit together. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's not the only song. There's plenty of them like that.
If you could work with anybody in the industry, who would it be?
If I can work with anybody in the industry, that's a good one, man. I would love to work with Stevie Wonder. You know what I'm saying? Stevie Wonder is like the GOAT, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to music in general. From a songwriting perspective, from an instrumentation perspective, he is the GOAT. But I can also put Anderson .Paak there. I would love to work with Bruno Mars. Basically any major artist who has a live musician background and it's not just all studio stuff, I would fuck with them heavily. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, big facts.
What's a new song you produced on that's out right now that they should go check out,
A new song that I produced on.
or anything you produce?
Well, there was a Valentine's Day EP that I released with an artist by the name of Danny V. He actually got me into the whole Southern Soul thing from an artist perspective because I was really just producing it, you know. But he actually encouraged me to let's put a project together. So we did. And it's a pretty solid project. It was more of a holiday thing. So, you know, I wouldn't say it's getting a whole lot of plays right now, but I will say if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's called The Game of Love. Carlito Sway featuring Danny V that is out right now. And I have other things in the works as well, such as the EP that I plan on dropping within the next few months. Still getting it together, but it's coming.
What you doing when you're not in the studio making music?
Well, I'm not in the studio making music. I am gigging. Gigging actually has overshadowed my producing and artist life because it really keeps me busy. You got time spent doing rehearsals. You got time spent on the road traveling to these gigs, and the gigs themselves last hours. But I tell you one thing, that shit pay a lot more than I ever got paid making beats. And that's why I'm gonna stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, say you make a beat and it blows. It might take a minute to get that royalty money. If you do a show at the end of the night, or at least a few days from then, you're getting paid, and it's a good check. So yeah, can't complain.
What's a job you had you walked out and never went back?
Definitely cook foods. The chicken house. I was doing debone, and my hands got so tired, and it was like stiff as hell after one work day. The next day I went. When one lunch break came, they ain't see my ass no more. They probably got somebody else on the line to replace me, but that's their business, not mine. Can't do it.
All right, we're gonna play a game. I'm gonna say two things. You pick the best one.
Okay.
Bars or hooks?
Bars.
YouTube beats or custom beats?
Custom beats.
Independent or major?
Definitely independent.
Old school, new wave?
Old school all day. Nothing beats it.
Writing or freestyling?
I say writing. You get to really make it more in depth. You know what I'm saying? Freestyling, you don't know where you're going. I like writing.
Classic album or viral single?
As a fan of classic albums, definitely classic album.
Grammy or street respect?
Grammy, because once you make it out the streets, who gives a fuck? I mean, honestly, you know, no disrespect to the streets. I'm cool both ways, but I ain't worried about what the streets think if I'm living in my mansion in the hills. I ain't got to go back over there. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all though, but yeah.
What's a good place to eat in Montgomery?
It depends on who you are. Me personally, I like Kava. They got some good, healthy stuff. Probably the only clean, eating, healthy type restaurant I can say in the city. It's like Chipotle. You get to make your own bowl. Got a lot of Greek ingredients, chicken, you know, vegetables, all that shit. But if you want me to go soul food, I can say Simply Southern. It's definitely one of them ones. And Filet and Vine, please fuck with Filet and Vine. That right there is the plug. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, tap in with them.
What do you think is holding the city back the most?
Uh, I would have said togetherness, like everybody else says, but honestly, it's money. Like we don't have a financial ecosystem that's strong enough to support major movements of music. You know, like take Atlanta for example. LaFace Records came to Atlanta. That's a major label, and there was millions of dollars behind that label, and they were able to find artists like Outkast, Ludacris, and you know, Def Jam were able to put a headquarters down there. Like it was when you got a lot of money, you can do a whole lot of shit. Montgomery ain't got no major labels down here. We got a bunch of independent people with not the right amount of resources to do what they really want to do, and because of that, you're not seeing a big artist or a big drive out of here. Now, Baby Mel, shout out to him, and Fat Mac, they doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? But they kind of had to reach outside to find that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen anything strictly from Montgomery, homegrown, like a Death Row Records or a Rap a Lot Records or a No Limit Records. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen that down here. It would take a millionaire probably or at least somebody to build it up from the ground up for something like that to happen. So I say money. Money rules the world. It does.
Give an up and coming producer some motivational advice.
Always have your paperwork straight. Don't forget about that. Cross your I's, dot your T's when it comes to that, because it's so easy to have a heartbeat. Somebody gets it, y'all forget about the back end. It possibly blows up. Now you're like, okay, where's my money? They may not think they deserve to give it to you, or they may just forget in general. Regardless, get it in writing. Anything you do, get it in writing. Get a contract. Be professional with it, because you set that precedent, and people will take you seriously. They will.
Give me 4 to 8 bars of one of your songs.
Okay. It's one song I did a while back. It's called Free. So basically it goes like, my mental abundant, but still I'm in bondage. The shit is getting redundant, the mission's accomplished. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just a little bit right there. I forgot the rest of it. I ain't heard it in a minute. But I got some shit out there. Just check it out.
All right, what's next for Carlito Sway?
What's next for me? I would say being a full-time musician is next for me. Also diving into my artistry, you know what I'm saying? That's definitely gonna be next. For a while I've been producing everybody else stuff. Shout out to y'all. But now it's time for me to express myself creatively, and I don't care about the numbers and the clout and the money. I just want to say, hey, this is my work. This is who I am. So expect that. Expect me to drop more shit in the future. Near future.
Tell everybody where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram. That's swayway_334. You can also find me on Facebook. That's Carlito with a K. Sway. Carlito Sway. You can find me on Threads with the same name as Instagram. And you can also find me on Twitter with the same name. I think I ain't been on Twitter in a while, but yeah. That's me.
And like that, we're
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.